Saturday, the 27th of April, 2024 at Protestia Studios, and this is your intelligence briefing coming to you from Protestia.com, where you can go to find all of the latest in Christian polemics and discernment news. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the intelligence briefing. Go over to Protestia.com and subscribe to the Insurgency email list and support us on Patreon over at patreon.com/Protestia. Let's get into the headlines. First headline this is from Protestia.com. Charismatic apostle interviews an angel for his new book. Sadly, his book sucks. This is apostle, quote unquote, Ian Carroll, the founder of Building Contenders, a ministry part of Bethel Church's leadership network. He and his wife, quote, walk alongside senior leaders of churches to help folks, quote, activate the supernatural, build kingdom foundations, and partner with heaven. Whatever that means. Crucially, his ministry is known for manifestations of heaven, catalytic culture shift, and biblical teachings on the spiritual realm, where he claims to be an apostle sent to, quote, reform, revive, and align the church into maturity. He and his wife also, quote, pioneer regional intensives all over the United States to raise up apostles and prophets, and sell courses and training on how to have mystical encounters, including dream and vision interpretation. Now, this won't be the last story in this intelligence briefing about the money grubbing that comes from Redding, California and Bethel, quote unquote, church. But you can see what this stuff is going to cost you. It's not cheap. Prayers cost $120 for a 30-minute session, $750 for a month of prayers, I guess, or $7,500 for the entire year. What a deal. In a newly unearthed video, Carroll can be seen explaining that he recently interviewed a real angel for his new book, Seeing the Glory, A Journey into the Mystical Realm, where the angel tells him about heaven and the various spiritual mysteries therein. Okay, yeah, there's an embedded YouTube video. If you want to see more about this, head over to Protestia.com and check out the insanity. Next headline at Protestia, missing, quote, real-life ministries pastor. And we put real life ministries in quotes, not because it's not a real life ministry, but because that's what they call it. Missing real life ministries pastor Gene Jacobs found dead from self-inflicted gunshot wound. A sad story indeed. A congregation is in mourning after their missing pastor was found deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to law enforcement. Gene Jacobs, 59, was the lead pastor of Real Life Ministries Silver Valley, a satellite campus of the megachurch Real Life Ministries led by Jim Putman. He was reportedly missing. This is Gene Jacobs missing, but he was reported missing by Real Life church members after failing to attend an early morning 6 a.m. meeting. Concerned congregants told police that potential threats were made against him, prompting authorities to treat it as a possible abduction and begin investigating and searching right away. We put a screenshot up in the article from Real Life Ministries Silver Valley. Jacobs leaves behind a wife of 32 years and 2 adult children. Keep the church and family in your prayers. We will as well. Next headline at Protestia.com. Kanye West confirms he's starting up a porn company while albums top Christian charts. This article is not for children's ears, so if you have children watching the video now, it might be the time to send them to another part of the room or skip over this section until I get to the next article. But apostate Kanye West has seemingly confirmed reports that he's getting into the pornography-making business, tweeting out, quote, Yeezy porn is coming. Of course, spelling it in a grotesque and sexually referential manner in a since deleted message, all while having 2 gospel albums, Donda and Jesus is Lord, on Billboard's top 25 Christian albums. It was previously reported that Kanye was looking into the adult entertainment industry as one of his next business ventures and was looking to hire a noted porn mogul to get him started. We once had high hopes for Kanye. I don't know how high our hopes were, But we're always hopeful when somebody starts proclaiming Christ and claiming to be a Christian and saying things that are true, and Kanye was. When we first covered his supposed conversion in 2019, he was in good hands and was being taught and discipled by pastors who were theologically sound. Over the years, he demonstrated some good fruit, such as Kanye West talking expository preaching and Jesus on the Joe Rogan podcast, and talking his faith in a new GQ interview. We have the links in the article. Unfortunately, in the years since, his fruit has rotted into a smoldering mass of mold and worms, a messy public divorce, frequently bad theology, shacking up with a whorish woman, pagan thinking, hedonistic behavior, broadcasting his wife's nakedness, and racist statements, all illustrative of seeds that fell on poor soil. You can see more context in the article at Protestia under the headline, Kanye West confirms he's starting up a porn company, while 2 of his albums top the Christian charts. Next headline at Protestia, millions of views gone. Benny Hinn deleting videos following apologist expose. The apologist is Mike Winger of Christian YouTube fame. Arch-heretic Benny Hinn is deleting a raft of videos from his YouTube channel, willingly losing millions of views in the wake of a devastating expose against him. 2 weeks ago, we reported that a ministry associated with Benny Hinn was claiming copyright strikes against Mike Winger, unjustly targeting him on account of a video critical of the famed con man. After Winger released a 4-hour-long blistering critique of Hinn, replete with multiple videos and commentary demonstrating that the money-grubbing heretic is a twofold son of hell, our description, not Mike Winger's. The video was struck by Jesus Image Ministries, an enterprise led by Jessica and Michael Koulianos, Benny Hinn's daughter and son-in-law, with the intent to get it demonetized and taken down. Winger stood his ground, refused to take the videos down, and claimed fair use, which is the correct claim, and Mike Winger is correct about this for sure. And in the absence of a victory in getting Mike Winger's videos taken down, Benny Hinn's team is apparently scrubbing the videos off of YouTube. Mike Winger tweeted this out a few days ago, saying, "This is what it looks like when a YouTube channel is deleting videos. It appears Benny Hinn is removing tons of old content off his channel. He seems to have recently removed over 1 million views worth of videos." So you can see in the screenshot from Mike Winger's tweet here, video views dropping substantially versus prior days, video views dropping between the 13th and the 12th and the 13th of April. It looks like on the 12th, Benny Hinn's channel here lost almost 750,000 views from the day before. So we last wrote about this. Dr. Michael Brown endorsed prosperity gospel heretic, that's Benny Hinn, after he offered invitations to his birthday party for $5,000 a person, released a major prophecy 2 weeks before Hamas's attack on Israel, where he claimed God told Israel would soon make peace with Saudi Arabia and then Palestine, cajoled a conference crowd with some of the most blatant and dishonest manipulations we've ever seen, and knocked down whole crowds in a 2014 crusade. You can head over to Protestia to read more about this. Under the headline, Benny Hinn deleting videos following apologists expose. Next headline at Protestia, aggressive pink-haired Lutheran pastorix rips into godly pastors, denouncing them as, quote, evil shepherds. This is the ELCA, of course. It seems to always be one of the vilest denominations in America, pro-homosexuality, pro-choice, possessing a preternatural hatred for the Bible. It's populated almost exclusively by spiritually decrepit senior citizens and virtue-twerking LGBTQ 20-somethings. Less than 1% of the congregants in the denomination are saved, at least from what we can tell by profession and belief. And it is, you can only submit to a satanic pastor for so long without getting a little demonic yourself. We have links here for prior ELCA horribleness. But this is an aggressive pink-haired Lutheran and pastor ripping into godly pastors and denouncing them as evil shepherds.
What do we have in common with the Jewish people when they were in the Babylonian captivity? What are we experiencing today? Is there any relation? And then a harder question, how have we participated in the conditions that caused that exile? That's a really uncomfortable question. How have we participated in that oppression? For example, pastors in our own backyard who insist that the Bible is a weapon that can be used to oppress people for being who God made them to be, even if they don't fit the image that that pastor thinks that they should fit. That is a problem. That is oppressive. That is fact. That is making these divisions in our community.
She's quite the idiot, as you can tell.
This leader, who is supposed to be a shepherd of the sheep, uses those who are already marginalized to get his own political gain, to get his own attention, to convince his flock to further oppress and divide.
He sounds like an 8th grader.
That's not good.
That's not good.
That pastor is being the evil shepherd that Ezekiel is warning us about. He's not loving or caring for the vulnerable people.
Yeah, those evil shepherds are the ones that take the Bible, the Word of God, and then say, hey, we're supposed to obey this. We're supposed to read this and understand it for what it is and then put it into practice. I mean, don't those evil shepherds realize that God made you a different way? That he made you apparently unable to repent of your sin?
He's eating the fat. He's wearing the wool. He's exploiting those whom he hurts just so he can gain some kind of power and attention. He just wants to be Babylon. And when people double down on issues that oppress other people in the community, further fragmentation happens, which is exactly the opposite of what God wants from God's people. And there's this difference between these evil shepherds and the good shepherd. The evil shepherd would never sacrifice his well-being for the sake of the sheep. The evil shepherds see that the sheep are just there to further their own agenda. The evil shepherds...
All right, I think you get the point. It's pretty dumb. Pretty dumb, but we would expect nothing less from the apostate denomination. The ELCA, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, is not a Christian denomination by any stretch of the imagination. Read more about that over at protestia.com. Let's move on. Next headline. Prominent worship leader leaves lineup of Arise conference after allegations of spiritual abuse. Prominent worship pastor and leader Jeremy Riddle has been removed from the conference he was set to headline after allegations were made against him of spiritual abuse. We have the YouTube video from the person making these allegations embedded in the article here. But Riddle, to get back, Riddle made a name for himself as Bethel Music's longtime ensemble leader and is perhaps best known for his song Sweetly Broken. He left Bethel after nearly a decade, joined Dwelling Place Anaheim as their worship, creativity, and prayer pastor. But it was not to last. Last year, his former drummer Noah DeBolt claimed that Riddle and Dwelling Place pastor Alan Scott were spiritually abusing him, releasing a series of videos and recorded audio from his time there where he went from being a, quote, being a full-time professional drummer to being deeply traumatized, depressed, barely able to eat or sleep, and go outside or take a shower. Let's see if there is anything to be
this is my
heard in the video here. It is a 23-minute video, so we're not going to go through the whole thing, but it is embedded at protestia.com if you want to see what Noah DeBolt is saying here about Jeremy Riddle and Pastor Alan Scott, and decide for yourself. Let's head on to the next. We got a couple more headlines for this intelligence briefing. Next headline: Bethel Church charging $6,000 per person for prophetic 2-day conference. I said earlier that it wouldn't be the last time we talked about Bethel's money-grubbing ways. Bethel Church in Redding, California continues its money-grubbing ways, putting on the Regis Summit Conference, where the registration bundle is, hold your breath, $6,000 per person, led by Bethel Chief Prophet, quote-unquote, Chris Volaton. The promo material reveals that, quote, this exclusive event has been meticulously designed to connect and activate you with the more of God. That's what it says, the more of God. It reminds me the American Gospel guys on their YouTube channel had made appropriately a mockery of this more God nonsense that goes on in charismaticism, with a parrot bobbing its head up and down while charismatic prophets repeated that phrase, more God, more God, more God, over and over and over. It's pretty funny. I would recommend that you go find it on YouTube. It's quite entertaining. It's as entertaining as it is sad. But this looks like more of God from Bethel here. The attendees will, quote, discover strategies for personal and corporate spiritual development and tools to redefine personal success. You can see the schedule here. The leadership panel is consisting of almost entirely Bethel Church executives. What a deal. Bethel Church in Redding, California has many ways to make a buck. They must, as they've already broken ground on their brand new $96 million campus and apostolic training center, as they call it. To keep the land of milk and honey from growing parched, the 12,000 member Bethel Church has over 90 ministries, many of which seemingly exist only to raise capital. They have a, quote, lab where they apply, quote, scientific methods to the prophetic, and where you and your business can go to get a custom prophetic report for only $2,750. They offer courses on interpreting dreams for $150. That seems like a good deal compared to the others, I guess. And offer acting classes for $26,700 and a dance certificate. Go get your Bethel dance certificate for $14,000. We have more links in this article about all of the horrible cult-like manipulation and nonsense and money grubbing going on at Bethel. You can go see and judge for yourself. Last headline for this episode of the Intelligence Briefing: why is Maverick City Music touring with Mormon musician Ashley Hess? Good question. Maverick City Music is a mess and continues to get messier, exemplified by the fact that they've just spent months touring and collaborating with devout and unabashed Mormon Ashley Hess. Seems like maybe they're trying to get on the Chosen soundtrack. What do you guys think? I don't know. You got some pictures in here. Here, Hess is a former American Idol contestant known for her song Yet, which has tens of millions of views across multiple platforms. She recently recorded the song with Maverick City Music, the famed collective of gospel singers who have won 5 Grammy Awards, and has performed it while accompanying them on their fall and early winter tour. Hess is not a Christian. However, she is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and has been since her youth. Hess is featured on the Mormon Church's website, where her singing is available to listen to. She has appeared singing on the Mormon Channel Studio, featured on Mormon Wiki, recently interviewed by Stephen Jones on his LDS YouTube channel. You can see all of the evidence here. And again, it begs the question, why is Maverick City Music, supposedly a Christian praise collective, Christian praise band, touring around with an unbeliever, somebody who does not believe in Jesus Christ, but somebody who believes in an invented version of Jesus Christ? While she may be sincere in her beliefs, Mormons are not believers. In fact, Islam is closer to Christianity than Mormonism is, because at least with Islam, they are monotheist rather than Mormons who have millions of deities. That's a fair point. You can go to our article here to see more information about this. There is a link in here from the North American Mission Board. Believe it or not, we do link when they put good information up. We will link it for a brief overview of Mormon views on Jesus and other things. And then we have Maverick City Music links and other things that they have been doing over the years to demonstrate why they are probably to be marked and avoided, we would say, at this point. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this Saturday edition, the 27th of April 2024 edition of the Daily Intelligence Briefing. I'm going to try to be putting more of these up. I know we were in a couple weeks with none, and I know a lot of you like to get your information via video or listen to it or whatever rather than go through and read the articles, and so we hope to be able to deliver that to you. Anyway, have a good weekend. Go to church tomorrow, worship with the saints, and if you're in Colorado, maybe I'll see you there. As always, Semper Reformanda.